Hello, and welcome to Fermata Fashion, presented by the Strings and Things channel, with special guest
Matthew Maisano, also known as Balena Canto.
Hosted by me, so-called legend, Rachel Sigmund. Now let's get to the show.
Anyone who has met me for about 5 minutes will know that I'm obsessed with drag, and Matthew Maisano, aka Balena Canto, is both a drag queen and an opera singer, so we have so much to talk about.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. So, okay. Matthew Maisano early this fall made his Opera Philadelphia debut in the chorus of Prokofiev's The Love for Three Oranges. In January, he sang in Verdi's Requiem with me.
Yes.
Yes. He spent the summer as a resident artist with Pittsburgh Festival Opera. Matthew has sung with the Penn Square Music Festival, Opera Tutti, the Natchez Festival, Children's Opera Box, Russian Opera Workshop, Wilmington Concert Opera, Cleveland Institute of Music, Opera Theater, Endeavor Opera Theater, Miami Music Festival, also with me.
Where I met you, yes.
Yeah, that's where we met each other. Pittsburgh Festival Opera, Amherst Early Music Festival, Temple University Opera Theater, and Greensboro Light Opera, and yeah.
God, you like covered all of them. I like forgot about some of those. Thank you. Making me look good.
Yeah. Like I say, my guests are really fancy, and I just need to show how fancy they are.
Thank you.
So thank you for bringing your fancy self here to talk to me for a little bit.
My pleasure.
So, Fermata Fashion. Welcome to Fermata Fashion, where style and expression meets altruism. I'm your host, Rachel Sigmund. This is Balena Canto, and we're going to, spill the tea.
Yes.
Yes. So, what do you consider your style and brand? And how do Balena and Matthew, interact in that realm?
So, I guess I definitely, as Balena, I definitely kind of have a signature type of style. I kind of like that 1960s, 1950s housewife look a little bit, as you can tell by my font. I just had this made by one of my amazing friends, the Lady Lachey. She's an awesome wig maker. But yeah, I like a lot of I don't know, just like kind of pretty and feminine 1960s, 1950s. But that's not all. I definitely like to go outside of the box. I like a lot of and I think something that you and me share, we enjoy like fantasy and like a fairy tale and like nature elements and stuff like that. I really enjoy kind of incorporating that into my fashion as Balena as well. Basically, I don't know. I just kind of like things that make me look good. I like shiny, if you couldn't tell. I love sequins. I love rhinestones.
I mean, me too.
Yeah. I really enjoy
covered in glitter.
Yes. Yeah. Always fun. I like a lot of if I can find them, like vintage pieces or pieces that reflect my personality or things that I like. For instance, where is it? It's over here. My little whale pin. I just got this on Etsy.
Because Balena means whale.
It's very incorrectly grammatically means whale singing, I guess, if you translate it directly. But it's not grammatically correct at all.
Well, it's a pun on
it's
bel
also
canto.
A pun, yes. It's a pun on bel canto. whales are my favorite animals, and they also sing. So that's part of that as well. And then I'm also Italian, so I chose an Italian name, like, it's in Italian. So it's got like a trifold meaning to it. But yeah, so like my little pin is a whale. I love the ocean and anything nautical. I got these a little while ago on Etsy. They're like vintage, I think from
Oh
like the
my God,
early
they're gorgeous.
90s. I love these so much. I
I mean,
have my little Visi d'Arte. I forget who makes these. I think it's a singer.
yeah,
Um,
it is a singer, but I forget who that person is, and in post we'll figure it out. I'll put
yes,
it
we
right
will.
here. Yes.
We will. So yeah,
Thank
I
you for
mean,
doing what you do.
yes, yes, for sure. I'm sure. I think I've seen these like sold on Shoperatic before. I think that's probably where I
Absolutely.
got it from.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, those are some of the elements that I enjoy. I don't like to limit myself to one particular style, but I think the one that I probably veer to the most, just as like a base, is like this 1960s housewife type thingy. I have a lot of mod cloth dresses that I really
Oh,
enjoy.
me too.
They're really good. They're really good about having like extended sizes. So I have a lot of their stuff, and a lot of like the cuts of the dresses are very 50s, 60s.
Hmm.
One of my favorite dresses is like it has sheet music all over it. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I love that one. That's one of my favorites. But yeah, they have, really good stuff too. Differentiating between that and Matthew,
Yeah. How does Matthew figure in this?
I'm very lazy. Like my everyday attire is very simple. I'm definitely a jeans and a t-shirt person. I will say though that I do like a lot of like fun t-shirts or like themed t-shirts. Um, like, let me think. Like I have a t-shirt that I wore recently because it's Halloween. It's a quote from Halloween Town that Debbie Reynolds says. It's being normal is vastly overrated. Like I have
Uh,
one of those. I have a shirt that says future corpse because
yeah, because you're a
I like
spooky
death.
queen too. You're
Yes.
a glamour and spooky queen, which I love.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have like shirts with like Judy Garland on it because I'm super gay. So I mean, I try to, like I said, I try to inject my personality and my likes into stuff, even if like day to day I'm just like jeans and t-shirt kind of person. Um,
I
but
mean,
when I'm Balena, I can, be my fantastical fan. I can't talk. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm
fantastic.
rambling.
No, no, you're not rambling. I'm just, for the audience, people don't realize that a lot of this is its own form of drag.
Hmm.
After the show's over, I mean, I'm teaching someone after this. I'm gonna put on some sweatpants and a comfy shirt.
Hmm.
Lots of times, if I'm doing a recital, I paint myself really heavily, and then when I get home, I'm just in some sweatpants and a shirt, full face of makeup, and I'm just eating ice cream.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. After the
That,
gig, totally.
yeah, that dichotomy, you know, you have to be that way. There's no way I'm gonna just sit at home, I don't know, in a corset covered in fairies, and I don't know, and in like a weird chiffon organza jumpsuit.
Of
Just,
course, it's not comfortable.
but yeah, it's, I mean, to quote RuPaul, we're all born naked, the rest is drag. You
Mhm.
and I, we know
Love
that,
that.
yeah. I mean, it's sad that RuPaul's a fracker.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about RuPaul that I don't enjoy, and that show in general that's kind of done a lot of disservice
The drag
to the
community, yeah.
drag community and local drag. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
could
could
talk
talk
about
about
that
that all
forever, but
day.
I don't know if that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I want to focus on you though.
Well,
But
thank you.
of course, it's about you. But, you know, you and I know that when we're little kids, people tell us you can grow up and be whatever you want. You grew up and became a very talented man and a very beautiful woman. And I grew up and I became a unicorn fairy princess. So
It's awesome.
it's awesome. And I don't know, whenever I'm at a Ren fair, I'm always talking to kids being like, you could grow up and just be whatever you want. Because you can.
Yes.
Hence where I am right now. So the whole point of this episode is we decide who we want to be and just live your truth.
Yes.
Live your truth.
So important. I think it's really important, especially for your mental and emotional health, is to try and just be your authentic self. Of course, it's hard, especially, depending on your circumstances, where you live, your family. Not everybody's lucky to have people in their life that are accepting. But if you can get to some sort of situation where you can be yourself, I think it's probably one of the best things you can do for your own, happiness.
Yeah. So how was Balena born?
How was Balena born? I probably, I don't know. the factual thing was, one of my friends, who's a singer in Philly, Brenna Markey, she was doing these monthly shows at a bar in Philly called Win Win. This was probably like late to 2017, early 2018. And she wanted to do a drag themed opera cabaret type thing. And she asked me if I wanted to be in it. And I was like, yeah. So this sounds great. So that was like, I guess my motive. Like before that, I had always thought and was, contemplating doing drag. But this was kind of like the catalyst that kind of just sprung everything forward for me to like take the dive and actually do the thing. That first performance and the next one, actually, Balena Canto wasn't my name. I went on as Renee Flaming.
Yes.
I do love that name, but I eventually I wanted to make it more personal, but that was like my first drag name.
I mean, you and I both love Renee.
Yes.
Because Renee does whatever she wants.
Exactly. I very much admire her for that.
I have a physical copy of Dark Hope.
Good.
I mean, it's still in the packaging, but
Good.
if ever I need just to feel like a diva, I'm just like putting on her "In Your Eyes, Light the Heat. I am complete." Just with the best diction ever. But yeah, it's
what a treasure.
Yeah.
Love Renee. So that was the practical. I think I remember the moment that I decided I wanted to do this was probably earlier that same year, in the winter. Stephanie Blythe was at Opera Philly doing Tancredi, or however you say it. I think I said it maybe right.
I think so.
Tancredi. And they did this collaborative show with the Bearded Ladies Cabaret, which there are a bunch of amazing queer artists, drag queens that they do cabaret. That's their thing. So they collaborated with them and Martha Graham Cracker, who's a fabulous drag queen cabaret artist, and they did this amazing conceptualized cabaret show together where Stephanie Blythe introduced her drag king persona, Blithely Oratonio, and it was at the TLA on South Street. And it was just like the most fabulous unicorn gay thing that I ever experienced. And it was like one of the happiest nights of my life. And I just remember thinking, like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So that was definitely like the moment that I wanted to do the drag.
And you've been doing drag for like 2 years, a
2 or 3
year?
years. Like I officially started doing like the mainstream Philly drag shows and like competitions July 2019, but I had been doing drag in other respects since like early 2018. When I was doing those shows with Brenna, and then I was doing drag queen story times at different
Oh,
libraries.
yes, you do drag queen story
Yeah.
times, bringing drag to the children.
Yes, exactly. Which I feel is really important. Just it's just like any story time, but you pick books that are, you know, they have characters that don't necessarily follow gender norms, um, teaching you about diversity, inclusion, all those acceptance, self-acceptance, all those wonderful things. And they're really becoming they do them all over the place. I think it started probably in like Brooklyn and San Francisco. I think were the first ones a couple of years ago, but they're all over the place, and they're wonderful, wonderful opportunities for the up incoming generations to learn and to not be terrible
To each other, yeah.
to be, like decent human beings.
Yeah, it's important work, and thank you for doing that. You're also a librarian.
A library assistant. I don't have a degree, so I'm not a librarian, but I work in public libraries. That's like how I live. It's my like, day job or whatever. I used to say muggle job, but now I don't like to say that because what's her face is evil.
Yeah.
Or, but I used to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Mm.
2020 baby, not the best.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
It has.
So tell me about that ride, Balena.
Oh boy. 2020, it's been up. I guess I'll focus on the good. I've been doing a lot of digital drag, and that's been fun. It's been challenging, very challenging, but very um, stimulating for my creative, artistic brain because, I was forced to learn video editing and special effects and playing with those and incorporating them into my drag videos has been really fun because I can be really super silly, um and people enjoy it and they laugh and
Yeah, I
you
enjoy
know
it
thank
for
you.
one. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I tell you if I didn't.
Yes,
You know me.
I
I'm very,
appreciate that.
very honest.
I appreciate that. But it kind of reminds me of being a kid because I used to like make videos, with my cousins when we were little, like with a VCR camcorder back in the 90s. So it kind of almost like reminded me of like being a kid and having that, spark of imagination that we don't always have as adults or we lose as adults. So in that respect, COVID has been really fun, to be able to tap into that. But of course, as you know, performing live is just this.
Not a thing.
Well, yeah, no, it's not a thing right now, but it's like it's a feeling that you could never achieve from doing digital content,
Absolutely.
unfortunately. And I'll always want to do that, and I
Yeah.
miss it dearly. Um,
There's nothing like it.
yeah, yeah. Um,
But with limitation, it just breeds so much creativity. Like
mhm.
like the show we're on right now.
Yes, exactly.
This would not exist if I was singing all the time. And so many of your amazing videos wouldn't exist.
Thank you.
Speaking of videos, um, I asked you earlier today if we could watch a very specific one.
Sure.
Um, This is Non Monsieur, Non Marie from Le Mamelle de Tiresias by Poulenc, which is an aria usually sung by a soprano. You had it recomposed, or not recomposed, transposed
I
for
took
your
it
range.
down, of course. Yeah. Thank you, accompanist.
Thank you, accompanist. So, and it's uh, Les Mamelles de Tiresias literally means the breasts of Tiresias. It's
Mhm,
an opera about gender and gender fluidity. The
mhm,
main character, Therese, decides she doesn't want to be a woman anymore and she wants to be a man. And she has these boobs that are made of balloons that she lets fly away and pops them. So let's watch that. I'm excited. I love that. This is one of my favorite things that you've done because
Thank
you're
you.
because A, you're singing, and B, I love this aria.
It's
So
such a fun aria. It's such a fun aria.
Non, monsieur mon mari, non, monsieur mon mari, vous ne me ferez pas faire ce que vous voulez. Je suis féministe, et je ne connais pas l'autorité de l'homme. Du reste, je veux agir à ma guise. Il est assez longtemps que les hommes, il est assez longtemps que les hommes font ce qui leur plaît. Après tout, je veux aussi aller me battre contre les ennemis. J'ai envie d'être soldat. Je veux faire la guerre et non pas faire des enfants. Comme monsieur mon mari, vous ne me commanderez plus. Ce n'est pas parce que vous m'avez fait l'amour dans le Connecticut, que je dois vous faire la cuisine à Zanzibar. Donnez-moi du lard, je te dis, donnez-moi du lard. Il ne pense pas à l'amour. Mais tu ne te doutes pas, imbécile, qu'après avoir été soldat, je veux être artiste, je veux être aussi député, avocat, sénateur, ministre, président de la chose publique. Et je veux un dessin physique ou bien psychique qui a faire à mon gré l'Europe et l'Amérique, faire des enfants, faire la cuisine. Non, c'est trop. Je veux être mathématicienne, gros dans les restaurants, petit télégraphiste, et je veux, s'il me plaît, entretenir allemand cette vieille danseuse qui a tant de talent. Donnez-moi du lard, je te dis, donnez-moi du lard. Attendez, ne pense qu'à l'amour. Mais il me semble que la barbe me pousse. Ma poitrine se détache. Envolez-vous, oiseau de ma faiblesse, comme c'est joli, les âmes féminins, c'est mignon tout plein. Oh, mon chéri, oh, mais c'est joli, oh, mais c'est joli, ah, bêtise, ne nous livrons pas à l'air aéronautique. Il y a toujours quelque avantage à pratiquer la vertu. La vie, c'est après tout une chose dangereuse. C'est pourquoi il vaut mieux sacrifier une beauté qui peut être une occasion de péché. façonneau de nos mamelles. Mais qu'est-ce dire? Non seulement la barbe me pousse, mais ma moustache aussi est diable. Gilet d'un champ de blé, y attend la moissonneuse mécanique. Je me sens viril, oh diable, je suis un étalon. De la tête au talon, me voilà taureau. Me ferai-je tolérant? N'étalons pas mon avenir au grand jour, et recracher tes armes. Et toi, marie-moi viril, que m'a fait voler vacarme, et te vaudra. Donnez-moi du lard, je te dis. Je te pied à la Santa Melaoud.
Oh, that's so fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I
A
made it for
surrealist drag show.
yes. That's why you kind of like saw all those like little flashes of the
And the
different surrealist
birds.
artwork.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's up my alley. You know me. I just love that weird avant-garde stuff.
me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
and bravo,
Thank you.
brava,
Thank you.
brave.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, basically, I just wanted to do a big fuck you to gender norms and and the idea that we have. I mean, in opera, it's so strict with what we technically can and can't sing, or what we're supposed to sing and we're not supposed to sing, and
Or
that's
where.
or
Like,
where, yeah.
because, it's the 1950s. They want me to wear like a knee-length dress. It's a political statement if I, a soprano, come in wearing pants.
Yeah.
That's really weird to me.
It's very weird. It's so weird that there's so much policing of what women can wear in opera, especially. That's if you really, I mean, if I don't want to say really think about it, because really you shouldn't have to really think about it. But
I know.
it's just so messed up. It's so messed up. Like, what is this world like?
Yeah, why? So, what could your two worlds, your drag world and your opera worlds, learn from each other?
What could they learn from each other? I mean, I think they could coexist so beautifully, because they're both like heightened art forms, like they're just the to the nth degree of each version of themselves, if that makes sense. It's just because opera is everything and anything that of art smashed together, and like in terms of the human voice, it's like the extreme that the human voice can do and can produce self-amplified. It's just everything's up here, and the same thing with drag. Everything is heightened, is over the top. So I think in that respect, they're both very similar, and they can both, I think, feed off of one another's energy. I think what opera can learn from drag is just and it's funny because there is drag in opera all the time. I mean,
all the time.
Pants rolls, and like castrati, they were like, they were like otherworldly beings almost.
They were rock stars because
they were
had
rock
these
stars, yeah.
amazing high voices.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, it's just, I feel like opera has definitely, probably since the Victorian era, it probably lost a lot of its clearness that was probably there before. I mean, I don't think you could outrightly say things that were queer or gay or whatnot. But I think the elements were there, and the sexuality, I think, like especially in the Baroque period when it was all about the gods and goddesses, like that's all sex. It's just all sex.
Oh, from my post,
Handel is just
all
fucking
sex. Absolutely. I
um,
completely agree.
yeah, and I think in the Victorian era that all got lost with properness
As
and
as soo-
etiquette.
as soon as people who were respectable started doing opera and it became okay for them to do opera, these sort of things became not
Yeah, opera is not
okay.
proper. If you look at the stories and the lyrics, it's full of things that, it's sex, murder, uh, death, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff, and
Yeah,
it's all in there. So I
which is
think,
why I love it
yeah,
and
same,
why everyone should love it. But everyone
exactly.
thinks it's like this hoity-toity thing
I know, I
for
know.
only rich people, and it's not. It's literally just people having the most dramatic moments of their life.
hmm hmm And I think we need to bring it back to that.
Yeah, instead of
Um,
like, oh, this $7 million set, that's not gonna that's not a future that's gonna be viable going
no,
forward, which I'm excited about.
no. And I mean, drag queens have always been at the forefront of activism, and it was two trans women of color that started the Stonewall riots, and they were performers as well, I believe.
Mhm.
And I wish the opera world was more into social justice and civil rights and things like that. I think they could learn from drag that way and be more of take more of a role that way. And what is art if it's not, you know, if it's not activism in a way? Um,
Not
it's
progressive.
Yeah, I definitely think I definitely think we can infuse that into our art more. Um, yeah.
Because basically getting up on stage and putting all this makeup on our face and saying, I'm okay with myself. I like what I do. I hope you do too. That's kind of a political statement.
Yeah, that in of itself definitely is, I think. Definitely.
There there's so much media that wants to make us hate ourselves, buy more crap
hmm
because we're convinced that it'll make us like ourselves and other people like us more. But accepting ourselves for who we are, that's political. It shouldn't be political. It
hmm
should be the norm, but
Exactly.
that's what we try to do as artists, I think.
hmm Totally agree. Totally agree.
So, my last question. People say fashion is frivolous. How can we use fashion to create positive change?
I think part of what we were all talking about, just using it to help show your unique bleh, bleh, sorry, helping to show
No,
your unique self, um living your truth, I think. And like I was saying, like I do a lot of that through fashion. um I express myself through that, for sure. So I think in that respects it helps. um it tells a story. I mean, I think fashion is art. I really do. um Christ, I can't make clothes. I wish I could. Ugh,
oh,
I
me
wish I
too.
could. I'd save so much money. But I'm fine with supporting other other clothing
Artists.
artists. Yes. So I mean, yeah, clothes tell stories. We tell stories. It's all part of that, I think. Um,
And life's
it's
hard.
a
It's like
visual aspect. Yeah. Yeah.
anything to get you through the day. you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
For me, it's like if you could put on something to make you smile,
hmm
like
hmm
that's half the battle.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, it helps you celebrate you. Yeah. I don't know. I try to be all inspirational and like
No, you
existential, but I'm
are. I
not.
mean,
So like,
no, you are. I mean, just you being you is it's a political statement.
thank you.
You're welcome.
You too. You too.
Thank
You're
you.
a unicorn, for Christ's sake.
I'm a unicorn. People people give me unicorn stuff all the time. Like, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I mean, did you ever think that like when you were little that you would be 30 and like that, like,
No.
that
I was a tomboy, when weirdly enough, and now, like, I go on websites and they'll have, like, these sales for, like, tweens, and I'm just like, I feel very attacked because it's all the stuff I want. It's all, like, glittery unicorn stuff or mermaid stuff. I'm like, "Why not me? Why
right?
can't I like why can't I like that stuff?"
Right?
And I mean, I'm the one with the money.
Just because you're 30 doesn't mean you have to shop exclusively at Ann Taylor Loft for,
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, for some basics, maybe, but
Yeah, being a grown up like doesn't have to be boring, and I feel like our society wants it to be boring. Responsibility. Not saying that like, you shouldn't be responsible, of course, but there's a way to go about it and still have a life and still have fun and
yeah, and look at you. You're a beautiful woman wearing like a
thank
huge
you.
glittery gown, and we're having the time of our lives.
Exactly.
And no
Exactly.
one can take that from us.
Exactly.
So if you want to dress up like a unicorn, or if you want to do drag, or if you like any kind of drag,
Hmm.
not just um
Not
cis
just the
males,
RuPaul type.
not just
Yeah.
the RuPaul where it's just like cis males putting on a costume,
Hmm.
and oh, it's so funny, they look like a woman now.
Hmm.
Like there's drag kings,
Oh yeah.
which are people usually assigned at birth, um, as women, portraying men, or and then there's like
Or masculinity in
or
general. Yeah.
masculinity in general. There's like the monster drag where it's just
Hmm.
it's basically avant-garde art.
Yes. Dragula. If
And
you haven't watched
Dragula,
Dragula, check
watch
it out.
Dragula on Netflix. I
Yeah.
mean, if you are a if you're a weird queen like the two of us, weird macabre queen, you'd love that.
Yeah,
So,
did you see the video I put out? The Ella Fitzgerald "To Keep My Love Alive."
oh no, I need to watch that.
Yeah, that one's. I'm actually lip syncing in that one, which I don't do as often. I usually sing, but not always. But in that one, yeah, there's a lot of blood and gore. It's definitely like a Black Widow situation. It's fun. It's fun.
Well, I know what I'm doing tonight. I'm watching that.
Thank you.
So, everyone, be your best selves. Today is Monday. This is coming out on Thursday. I hope you voted.
Yes, you better have voted.
Yeah. Um, please have voted. I'm putting it out into the universe. Vote now because
Me
it is
too.
Monday.
I'm hoping.
Vote
Vote, vote.
and wear a mask, and don't forget to hold Fermata.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you for watching Fermata Fashion with Rachel Sigmund. Please follow our guests on their respective social medias. Our next broadcast will be November 19th, 7:30 p.m. EST, with special guest Keani Richardson. See you next time.
You're